everybody. Welcome back to the Kingdom Radio Hour podcast. My name is Angel, better known as Tumblr user TV Gremlin, and today I'm joined by a very special guest, Dr. Melpreg of Tumblr, and we are going to be talking all about Melpreg, and I am so excited. I am so excited.
Me too.
Miss Melpreg. But before we start, I want to ask you a couple questions. Mainly, how did you find yourself here in the lovely world of Kingdom?
Well, I guess I wasn't even gonna like watch it. Like I didn't think I was even going to like it. I don't usually watch medical shows. But it was like a day where I had literally nothing to watch. And so I was with my wife and I was like, let's just try it. I'm just gonna put it on. Let's just see what happens. And then by a couple episodes in, we were completely hooked. And it was like intense. And then as far as like Kingdom goes, they're like the perfect dynamic. It's like like when you feel like a character's made for you in a lab.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're
That's
talking about. That's how I feel with this ship, where I was like, oh, it's all
yeah.
the things I like. It's
Uh-huh.
coworkers. One of them is on the spectrum. I can relate to
Exactly.
both of them in very specific ways.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably not going to go canon. It was made for me in a lab.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. And then she was like down for Kingdom immediately. And then after like a day or two I was like there with it too.
Yeah,
um and since then it's been kind of constant. We're like both totally fixated on it right now.
it's amazing. Goals, absolute goals. I'm obsessed. Yeah, that's like very similar to my origin story. I was stuck in bed and I was like, this show I've been getting ads for, I had gotten ads for it, and I had like seen Noah Wyle on my HBO when I was going to rewatch Succession for the millionth time, and I was
Ugh,
like,
I
oh,
love Succession.
we're gonna have to. I can't. Don't even get me started. I'm sitting in front of my Succession fan art wall right
Oh,
now. Like,
amazing.
there are the Succession lore. My Succession lore goes so deep, but yeah, very similar origin. And I also wasn't on board with Kingdom right away. I was like, God, this is gonna be the ship. Like I saw them and I was like, it was like by
Yeah,
episode 2, by the Craig scene, I was like, people are gonna ship them. This is gonna
yeah,
happen. I was like, I hope they know what they're doing. And I very
yeah.
quickly learned that
i
they were
was
unaware.
I was actually really surprised that people didn't think that it was going to be a thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because once you
When I
watch
heard
season
there
1,
was
you're like,
discourse, I was like, what? How?
there's always discourse.
Yeah, I guess
I
there
mean,
is.
I come from the bear fandom too. Sid and Carmi are like so explicitly romantic, it's crazy, and they're still like, no, 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 can't be romantic. You people are weird.
It's so crazy.
They
The
just
way
hate
that
women. That's
I
it.
know, yeah,
It's just misogyny.
the way that they treat Mel specifically also really gets my goat.
Like she's a baby who can't make her own choices.
Exactly. Like, come on. That's like her whole literally Becca is right there to show you exactly what you guys are talking about. And you can't make that connection?
Yeah, like it's to the point where like one of the reasons I love Becca's storyline so much is because I was like, oh, it's great to show that autistic adults, including autistic adults with higher support needs like Becca, are still adults who make their own choices.
Yeah.
And like she needs support, but she also can, I don't know, have sex with her cute boyfriend. Like she's allowed to do that. That's fine.
Literally, yeah, exactly.
And Mel having to detach from that is so good. And one of the reasons I love Kingdom so much is I relate so deeply to Mel because we
Mhm.
present very similar in our autism. Shout out. Taylor Dearden is so freaking good as her. But the like her having not had anything for herself and
Mhm.
getting to go after and have Langdon is so compelling to me, and I'm obsessed with it, and I talk about it every episode.
Yes, that is like one of the things that's really just captivating when it comes to them. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I just love that the instant connection that they have, and the way that she doesn't have anyone else really is so tragic, but the way that he's always there for her.
He's a homing beacon attached to her at this point. Like he
Exactly.
just
He
knows.
he knows exactly. He like has her on Find My Friends indefinitely.
Literally. And like it's like on an internal clock. It's wild too because he comes back after 10 months and he's like, this woman I knew for one day, touch my arm. I'm gonna take care of you. I'm here for you. Like I'm gonna comfort you. I'm gonna ask if you're okay. And then her having thought about him for those 10 months and probably kind of built her up in her head and like, developed this crush enough that her sister commented on it. That scene,
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget that scene. Oh my
Oh,
God.
it's amazing. It's amazing.
It's so
Yeah.
good. I've been rewatching season two, just like, oh, they're just like that. Because I feel like when you're so deep in the fandom and when you're making so much fan content for them, it can start to, like, the lines will blur.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
so
You're
I'll,
like, would that actually happen or
did
was
that
that?
happen? Like, sometimes I'll be watching the show and I'm like, I know that they're not together and I know that they're not married. I know that he is technically married. Hypothetically, he's married to another woman. Um, but like, is he?
Yeah.
Ringgate. Watching it and then I like go online and read my fic and like look at my fan art and like am, working on the pod and I can so easily forget that no, it's just actually like that. There's a reason why there's so much fervor behind it because it's
Hmm.
actually just like that.
It
They just
is.
interact like that.
Yeah. And the way that like after 10 months they're able to just fall back into that dynamic with such ease. I really thought that's also something very special.
It's completely unhinged.
It
It's
is.
so
It
wild.
is. It
It's
really is.
wild. I was thinking today about how, like, what she was thinking about over those 10 months. And as we were watching season one, being like, I wonder what moment she, like, lived off of the most and cared about the most and
Mhm.
what made her develop that strong of a connection with him just in that
Mhm.
short amount of time. And then thinking about the inverse with Frank and
Mhm.
thinking about him in rehab and feeling so hopeless and, like, he can't ever be good and
Mhm.
remembering this one person who saw that good in him and then this great I sent like an I feel like I like reposted the edit somewhere. I might have put it in Kingdom Nation, but there was like this great edit I saw that included a Taylor interview where she was discussing how Mel sees how much work he did just in that moment of him treating her and immediately forgave him because she understood
Mhm.
what he had done and all the work he had put in. And it was just destroying me how like Red String of Fate, Soulmates, all of it
All of
mixed
it.
together. Just I can't. It's so
And
good.
they work so well in like any situation, I feel. Like I have been reading like a bunch of AUs or whatever, but I just feel like any situation you put them in, any universe you put them in, they work perfectly together.
They work well. I'm always really partial to a college student AU and or
Mhm.
a pre-canon AU. Shout out Rivers
Mhm.
and Roads. Oh my God. It was ruining my life, ruining all of our lives since it was published. But I am such a canon compliant girl. That's my heart.
Mhm.
That's where I love to be.
I do love a canon compliant
I
situation.
I love a missing scene. I love them
Oh, yes.
carpooling. I want them
Yes.
sharing a pint of ice cream watching bad reality TV on the couch. Like I
Absolutely.
want the most boring white bread Pittsburgh adult white people I've ever read in my life. That's
Yeah.
all I want. And I'm obsessed with it. And it's also, I'm gonna segue into our topic. You
Mhm.
can't see me, but I'm like grooving to the side. Uh, uh, Melpreg, which is the greatest name ever. I'm obsessed with it.
It
Because
is.
in
It
like
works really good.
in every fandom I've been in, I am always it is my toxic trait that like since I was because like the first fanfic I ever read, I just Googled Ron and Hermione pregnancy and clicked search. I'm 10 years old on a Kindle Fire HD and I just clicked search and I was like, computer, show me what you got. And fanfiction.net came up and I just started reading. And I remember at the time I was like, these are masterpieces. And I went back and like found the one I thought about most specifically. It's so bad, but I like was just reading like garbage, but just enjoying it so much. I mean, to me
Mhm.
it was beautiful art at the time, so that's how what it'll always be like in my heart. And so ever since, whenever I join a new fandom, I'm like, let's see if anyone's taken a stab at this. And the answer, like especially with like more like prestige shows, is no one's taken a stab at it. No one's writing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and I feel like no one was writing it until this summer.
Yeah.
And the some of the first Melpregs, it's such a good name. Some of the first Melpreg stuff I saw was your art, and I got so excited. I was like losing my mind. I have such like sometimes I'll just like go through your blog and just be like, oh my God, it feels like getting, um, it feels like eating like a bowl of delicious chips. I'm just living my best life. It's like a solve at the end of a bad day. How
That's
did you
so
get into
sweet.
like? Oh, thank you. How'd you get to like drawing them? Did you start drawing them right after you got into the show, or like was it like a
Mhm.
conscious choice? You
Oh yeah,
just be
yeah.
making art.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of have a problem where whatever I'm into at the time, I just start like prolifically churning out like sketches.
That doesn't sound
Uh
like a problem. That sounds like a beautiful gift to us,
I,
the users of the internet.
I'm really glad that you and I guess a lot of other people are really enjoying the art because it's fun to make. But Yeah, I do like a lot of work, so I don't always have time to draw.
That's real.
Um, but I mean I've been drawing since I was like in middle school. So whatever it is at the time, trust there's like it goes from like three sketchbooks full from my teen years to now I have to like keep dumping stuff off my iPad because I
Yep.
keep filling up the memory. Cause
Oh
I
my god.
mean,
Yeah, that's so real
I
though.
when did I think I started the pit, it was really only a couple months ago, I think.
Same.
So yeah, so I'm a relatively newer fan, but since then I think I have already like 60 or 70 things in my pit fan art folder. Because I just keep churning them
Well, I
out.
want to see all of them. I want
On
all of them.
some of them
um,
are not for the public to see. They're
that's
just like
real. I get that. That's me with fanfic. Like
hmm
sometimes, especially like now that like I'm doing the pod and I've like,
hmm
because what's weird is that I'm 20 and I've been heavily involved in internet fandom since I was 12 years old.
hmm
So I've been doing this for 8 years, and then the like archive of it, of like me having like accounts and actually leaving stuff up, goes back as far as when I was like 14.
hmm
So it can be kind of like now that I have like a little bit more like prevalence in the pit and like, make this stuff and people listen to it, and like my posts actually get like very small amounts of traction, but more than I was used to. I sometimes would be like, please don't look back at the old stuff. Just like, don't. The second page of my AO3 is actually none of your business. Do not go there. Don't look at it. It's not for you. And so
Yeah,
I definitely relate to that
totally.
though. But like, I had to, when I bought my new phone, I was like, I have to get one with really a lot of storage.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
because I was like, oh, I write a lot on my phone. I need fast
hmm
processing for fanfic. And now obviously I record on it. So I was like, oh
hmm
shit. I need to like be prepared for this. It feels like becoming important at work sometimes, where it's like,
Yeah,
oh man,
totally.
I gotta spend money on my fandom stuff. I gotta put time into it. And I relate to working a lot. Like I haven't been writing as much fic as I want to because I've been so
hmm
focused on the pod.
hmm
And I had like a little identity crisis because I was like, I was a fanfic writer once. That was what I was known for. And now I'm just like a moderator, or like,
hmm
a voice yapping, or my voice. Yeah, but no, I love your Melpreg art so much. I feel like you're
Thank
like in my
you.
brain sometimes, where I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. That's what the folks wanted to see. It's what the fans wanted to see. The one
Yes.
you did of her with the baby, where she's kissing the baby's feet, is like my favorite one. I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah, I saw that. I think I put the painting as a reference on that. I saw it like on Pinterest or whatever, and I was like, I need to make that Langdon's baby right now.
I also love that that is like, of course it would look exactly like him.
Yeah, there's no way any baby from him would come out looking anything except like him.
It
So,
makes me want to laugh every time when someone writes a fic and they're like, blonde hair and blue eyes. And I'm like, you mean the two recessive traits? Like, no, no.
oh,
My
yeah,
like
yeah. Ugh.
my medical fact self is just like, no, that's a brunette baby with brown eyes. Sorry,
Mhm,
unfortunately. That's
mhm, mhm.
when I write their original child, that's what they look like. And I'm always like, I want the blue eyes to be there, but I'm sorry. Like I'm doing middle school Punnett squares in my head. I'm sorry, guys, I can't do it. Um,
Sometimes I can get behind the blue eyes though, because like my wife, she has brown eyes and her mom has brown eyes, but her sister, blonde hair, blue eyes.
oh wow.
It came out of nowhere.
Damn.
And yeah, so it does happen. It does happen. I think it just really matters on like if maybe now I'm thinking about Punnett squares. Like if she
Like, what does
if
her family
maybe
tree look like?
yeah,
Oh,
like
it's
maybe if her mom or her dad had like blue eyes, maybe that would be a recessive gene, and then
maybe.
therefore with Frank it would make the blue come forth.
God, I bet she'd be so excited. I feel like both of them.
I know she wants it to be like a little mini Frank.
And I also imagine too, like with her being the stepmom of it all, which is also so important to me. Her like I can imagine him being like, "Hey, there are already two kids that look a lot like me,"
hmm
because I had Ken and Abby. Abby is brunette, so in my head, like one of
Yeah,
them
me
is like
too.
has her eye color, and then one is has blue eyes, and so like there is a little Frank twin out there,
hmm
and she's like, "Yeah, but like I want my Frank twin," and he's like, "Girl." No. And then
He's
he
like
wants a Mel
another.
twin, and they like split the difference. But it's like I can just imagine both of them being like a little disappointed when like the baby comes out and they're like, oh, it looks like they look like a mix between us, which is
Yeah,
how babies work.
yeah.
Um, oh my God. Yeah, no. I have like a footnote about Melpreg is that with every character, because again, I'm the freak who loves to look up a pregnancy fic. I wrote a pregnancy fic for the bear that forever ago. with me, my whole thing is like the reason I'm so compelled by it is a lot of these characters are like very independent, strong, interesting women who have a lot of things in their life that matter outside of motherhood.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always kind of interesting to be like, what would it take for them to be comfortable with motherhood? What would it take
Mm-hmm.
for them to get to that point? What support would they require? And then also thinking about like Mel doesn't have a mom. She hasn't had a
Exactly.
mom in a long time. What is her relationship with that looking like? When I was writing for Sid Carmi, Sid's mom died when she was 4, so I would like that was like a big thing. And
Mm-hmm.
with Mel, it's instead of that, it's okay, we got a dead mom, we got a dead dad, and then we
Yeah.
have someone who's been solo caregiving for her autistic sister for like presumably like around a decade at this point. And then I started to think of like what level of comfort does she have to get with Frank and with knowing that he won't leave her and won't abandon her and will actually take care of her for her to give in to wanting to have a child.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that, like, from what we see in the show, like, Mel loves babies. Like,
she does.
she loves babies and she's good with babies. And, like, that scene where she picks up that little baby, the surrogate baby,
And
and
she's like grinning and oh my God,
she's
it's so good.
that's
It's
like
so cute.
one of the top cutie pie Mel moments.
Exactly.
And I feel like, and okay, but also like the way that she like immediately tried to go find Dr. Langdon to tell him
Literally.
about that, like
Literally. Like and like that's the moment that her face falls when Santos is like, he left and she's like, he didn't say goodbye. And she's devastated. She's like
devastated.
devastated. It's some of the saddest we see her that season and like it's a sad season for her. Mel does not get to have good days when on the days that the pit decides to follow them. Like,
Yeah, she really doesn't. God,
no.
season 2 was really rough on our poor Mel Bunny as well.
Yeah, God.
But
Oh God.
yeah, I mean, I feel like obviously we see in the show that Mel wants a family. She has Becca, but that's literally as she says to Robbie, who's not listening to her, that's she doesn't have a support system. She only
Exactly.
has
Exactly.
Becca. And so I can see her like really wanting to have a baby, to have someone that's hers, you know?
Yes, I am
So,
nodding so furiously. I also think like not having parents and
mhm.
seeming to be estranged from everyone else, I can imagine her being like, I want someone I'm related to. I also really heavily headcanon that she will change her last name for this exact reason, because she wants so badly to be a part of a community and to feel included.
Mhm.
And Frank is close with his parents. He has kids. He like probably hopefully I want him to have like an older sister who takes Mel under her wing and is like, I am taking care of you. We are best friends now. And
That would be awesome.
or like brothers or just like something for her to be a part of and like there's this life that she can join after so many years of going at it alone, especially after in season 2 with her being like, well, Becca's going to get married and leave me all alone, I'm not going to have anybody.
Mhm.
And little does she know that like literally outside the room is a man who's like, I am we're currently calling the divorce lawyer, like we are working on it, like you will have a family, queen, like it's going to happen.
Yeah.
um
Yeah, I
yeah,
am season 2 is crazy.
Season 2 is crazy.
It
That's
was
the tagline.
crazy. Yeah.
That's the tagline. Yeah, I'm just I we're doing the rewatch episodes for season 1 right now for the pod. Well, we were
Mhm.
supposed to, and then things have happened and now I just have interviews lined up, which is even better. I'm so excited. But like I really was like, "Oh, I'm going to run out of people to interview," but nope. And it's crazy to rewatch season 1 and be like, "Oh, it's just they're just like that." And then season 2 in comparison is even wilder, especially having watched it live and being like cuz there was like
Yeah.
5 weeks where they don't interact and you're like, "Oh, this sucks." And now when you rewatch you're like, "Oh, oh no, it was they like literally had to like calm us down or we would have all died." Like it's
Yeah.
not like it is this was actually the drought was necessary. The drought was the
Yes.
very worst, but it was also necessary. uh,
Because it came full force. We got everything we wanted.
Modding the fan group at the time felt like like being a commander in a war in like the best way. But I would like
Yeah.
get on there and be like, I need to look at all the posts and make sure there isn't anything I need to moderate. I'd like go on, and it would just be like, it would just be people freaking out, and then I was freaking out, and everyone was freaking out. I'd like go to work the next day. I work this awful schedule, so I would get up. I get up at 3 every day. Become a healthcare worker, they said. It's so fun, they said, and you make so much money, they said. That was the biggest lie. I get up at 3 every morning, and so I'll like go on and I have to go to bed early. And it always bums me out, especially because I'll be online and no one else is online. I'm like,
That's so
my
sad.
friends, come join me. I'm so sad. Okay, I want to ask you about your Melpreg headcanons because I have so
Okay.
many and I want to hear all of yours because I feel like
Okay.
you'll draw something and I'll be like, oh my God, exactly, exactly. I'm just Olivia Wilde nodding, just agreeing so heavily.
Yes. I'm trying to think of like my head can. I just like think about her pregnant often.
Same. I don't know. I I'll be like it's like I swear it's like my favorite thing to disassociate to. I don't know. I like really love to think that she'd be really nervous to tell the kids and the kids are really excited. I feel like I'm weirdly convinced that like Abby would be supportive.
Oh yeah.
I live in my head Abby is supportive even though in my heart she is not. Like like or more like in my heart they're best friends, but in my head I know that reasonably Abby would be cordial at best.
Well, I think
Which
what's really interesting is that we have not seen hair nor hide of Abby.
no,
We have no, she could look like anything. She
she
could
could
be
be
in,
anything.
she could have any personality. We don't know what his kids look like. We don't know anything. So I'm really hoping maybe we'll get a glimpse at least, maybe a phone lock screen or something. But
I
like obviously she's not his lock screen because that man doesn't freaking care about his marriage, but
He is at the fucking hospital watching fireworks on a holiday.
on a
His
holiday.
on a holiday that like in my head is family time holiday. I feel like the
It
4th of
is.
July,
It's like the barbecue family cookout
you
holiday,
put the
you
kids in
know?
the Old Navy t-shirt with the American flag on it
Exactly.
and they
I have
burn
a
and they
picture of myself in one of those. Everyone
same.
does.
Same. I have
Everyone
pictures of
does.
yeah, I like the place we go to for the 4th of July does a thing where they throw candy at the kids. They have like a parade and they throw candy at the kids and like so we would all eat a bunch of candy and then we go to the beach, we build sandcastles, and we get sunburnt and we'd eat hot dogs and we'd watch the fireworks and our parents would put us to bed. And it's like it's only really like a fun hang out with your friends holiday when you're in like your mid-20s because like
Yeah,
it's pretty
yeah,
family oriented.
it
Like
is. So, like, why is this man trying to stay at the ER for hours after his shift?
not even charting. Not even
No,
charting.
he's literally like whistling and walking around looking for something to do.
It's so important to me too that during the fireworks scene he's like, "Is Robbie out here?" And then he like
Like,
walks
come on,
all the way
man.
up to her and she's like, "No." And he's like, "Well, maybe he's just like, I don't know, in like the space next to you." And like he's like, "I was looking for Robbie, but I want to talk to him before I leave." And then when Robbie actually tries to talk to him, he like tries to leave and it's like, "Bye. See you later. I want to talk to you." And it's like, "Dude, don't come into my house and lie to me, Frank. Like what are we doing?" I
Right.
can't. I really can't. It
But
does me in
yeah,
every time. I'm
like
just like, "Sir,
so like I
sir."
just with that back to Abby. It's like it's hard for me because I can see so many different avenues of like Abby being
Same.
nice or Abby being mean, you know, like and she would be it would be rightful for her to be upset at the situation if Mel were to be pregnant.
Yeah,
Um
I can imagine her even just internally going on the journey of having the like the one thing I had was that I had had your kids and like that was not
mhm.
something that you shared. Like that was just between us. I can also imagine if he's more attentive with Mel, it would make her feel like completely insane because
Yeah.
if I was with a man and had his kids and he was like not there for me during that time
Yeah.
because he was in residency or addicted to benzodiazepines or cheating on me with another woman, I would go insane if with the other woman he's great and super attentive because I think he would be so attentive with her. I think that like he
Mhm.
is so on his game with Mel and does
Mhm.
not ever like seem to like let her suffer even a little bit. Only having known her for a few days, like go take a break. Even the way he is with the cops, where he's like, "Well, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it," and is like
Yeah.
really mad at the guy who pushed her off the stool. Way more so than Mel. I can imagine him being so attentive and so like, "Go take a break, go sit down, da da da." And Mel, on the other hand, being like, "I am not breakable, leave me alone."
Yeah, I think he would definitely have some hardcore overprotection issues going on. He'd be like she sneezes and he's like there. She takes a
Yep.
breath, he's there.
Yep. I also can imagine like this is something that starts at the beginning of their relationship. Like even on the show, he's quite overprotective of her right now, but like it probably gets way worse as time goes on.
Yeah.
And I can imagine them having like a conversation where she's like, "I'm not breakable. I'm in charge of myself." And he's like, "Okay." And like he really gets it through his head and everything's fine. And then she gets pregnant, just goes all out the window. And Mel's like,
It's
"Frank,
over.
Frank, I can't do this." I can also imagine him annoying the living daylights out of everyone else at work because they're just like, "She's fucking fine. Leave her alone." Um,
Yeah.
Oh my God. But yeah, I can imagine that like he would be oscillating between like, oh my God, it's so hot that my wife is so confident and so in charge and she's doing this all while growing our child and also literally nothing bad can happen to her. I'm gonna lose my mind. And he's like he's
Yeah,
unable to like handle the risk and he's just like short circuiting in the corner.
exactly.
God, Garcia is gonna have such a field day with them. I'm so excited.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, I agree with all of that. What time of year do you think you would want Mel to be pregnant in?
All of them. No, I'm kidding. I she's just always in my head. Um, I feel like they are cornballs and would 100% conceive on the anniversary of their second meeting. So she gets pregnant in the
Totally.
summertime, so it's through the winter,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like bundled up in her sweaters. I
Mm-hmm.
also imagine that she works way, way, way too late into her pregnancy, and like she
Totally.
does not go into labor at work, but like at a certain point I have like a draft of a fic where Dana's like, "You're making me nervous. Go home. Like, I don't want to look at you. I'm
Go.
stressed. I need you to leave." Like, I headcanon in like all the fic I write where she's either pregnant or has a baby. Dana is so in like that is her mom. They're like very intense about it. She's like, "I got you. I understand." Kind of like how she was with Collins in season one.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Collins. I'll miss you forever.
Miss you, Collins.
We miss her. She's flying free with her own baby.
Yeah,
Um,
good for her.
Good for her. She got out. Like
She
she got
she
out of the
didn't need
Dr.
to be
Robbie
there.
misogyny factory and like I'm
Mm,
happy for her. Like
good for her.
fly free. I love how sad Robbie was in that scene. I was like, yeah, yeah, you fumbled a
Yeah.
baddie. Suffer
Yeah,
king. Like
he
this is what
really
happens.
did. He fumbled a baddie for sure.
I brought this up in both infidelity episodes, the second which has not aired yet at time of recording, because it's 2 hours and I need to edit it down. But I brought this up and I'll bring it up again, which is that Robbie and Colin's relationship existing is the only thing that makes me think Kingdon would ever go canon
Uh-huh.
because Langdon is a parallel to Robbie. Langdon is made in Robbie's image. Same thing with Whitaker, which is like why
Mm-hmm.
that whole dynamic is so interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but Robbie had that relationship with Collins that failed, and he had the inappropriate relationship with the resident that didn't work out, and she left. So if Langdon, who's already done the work of getting help for his issues and is trying to work through it and is like going to therapy and trying to be a better man, and is like, wouldn't engage with the misogyny when he was trying to make fun of Samira and is like trying to be what
Mm-hmm.
Robbie isn't and kind of break
Mm-hmm.
free from him, if he has the relationship with the inappropriate relationship with the resident that works out,
Mm-hmm.
that would be another example of him doing what Robbie couldn't and like being better than Robbie.
And I
That's
feel
the
that this show really does kind of illustrate that with the framing of the shots.
Yes, in season one when he
Mm-hmm.
looks at them and they cross each other and it's like very coupley in I think
Mm-hmm.
like episode one or episode two, and then it cuts over to him looking at Collins and you're like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
this is pretty
Yeah,
explicit.
it's right there.
Yeah. Oh, off topic, but I'm gonna bring up my other favorite headcanon, which is that whenever the like patient satisfaction, I made a Tumblr post about this. Whenever the patient satisfaction scores are really bad, Robbie will be like, Mel and Langdon, go work triage.
Yeah,
Like,
I
we'll
saw
figure
that
it.
post. I was like, absolutely,
Go
yes.
work triage. Like, we'll just go be happy. Like, just go be romantic. Like, let out all your lovey. Like, who cares about HR? Go be lovey dovey for the old ladies. We'll get some popular patient satisfaction scores. And I added in the tags because I was afraid to post Melpreg on Maine. My bad. Um, that when she's pregnant, the patient satisfaction scores are so high that they fully get a pizza party. Like Gloria's like, this is incredible, and Mel is just like, yeah, I know. Like they're
She's
like,
like,
and they
another piece of pizza, please.
she's like, thank you, I have put in the work, and she's like, my back hurts. She's like, can I have an extra day off? Like, please, sir. Like, I can't do this. Um, someone else was like, maybe the regulars bring her baby shower gifts. And I'm like, that's the cutest thing in the entire
That
world
would be
is
so
that they're like,
cool.
we're so excited for you. But I also can imagine her getting driven up the wall by getting asked the same set of questions
Oh my
every
God, yeah.
single time. I see like 30 patients a day at my job, and I get asked the same questions over and over and over and over again. And even if they're nice, even if they're innocuous, it'll drive you up the wall at a certain point to have to like be like, yes, yes, no, no, sorry, no.
Hmm.
Like if I get asked, can't you just pull from the IV one more time? I'm gonna lose my whole mind. Like, no, I have to explain how IVs work every like 4 times a day at least. It drives me up the wall. Or like I have colored hair and I get asked about that a lot. And I'm like,
Hmm.
yeah, this is how dyeing your hair works.
Yep.
Jerry.
It'll be pink or it'll be
Yeah.
blue.
Right. I also feel like Mel, I feel like them as parents the second time around. I love the idea of Mel being like, Langdon's gonna be so chill because he's done this twice, and everyone's like, no, he's not. And then he's not chill at all. Like she's like, no,
Yeah.
he did this 2 times. Like he's gonna be so chill about everything. He's gonna totally know what he's doing. And like he might be like way more chill, like having a newborn and stuff, and be like, she's not, it's gonna be fine. But I can imagine him losing his mind when she goes into labor and it's like freaking the fuck out. And
Yeah.
she's like, you're a doctor, get your act together. Like, and it's like, no, no,
You
no, no,
know
he
his
doesn't
like
play about you.
his TikTok feed is like keyed into all of his anxieties and is only
Yep.
showing him like terrible pregnancy situations and he's like freaking out. He's absolutely
They'll have like a pregnant patient who's like has like really bad preeclampsia and he's like having like a panic attack in the corner, just like I'm so stressed. And Mel's like, I'm not at Mel's like, I'm just gonna take good care of my I feel like Mel is like weirdly kind of zen about it. She's like, I'm just gonna
totally.
roll with the punches. I feel like she will kind of get into that weird zone you do when something really stressful's happening, where you're like, I'm just resigned to what's going on. I'm just
Hmm.
one step in front of the other. But I also feel like she has 800 spreadsheets where she's like, these are all the different things she's like gaming out like every different baby product imaginable. And
Hmm.
she's like very intense about like, we need to have the room right, we need to have the blah blah blah, like she's like got everything planned out. And I also really feel like she's like reading books about like how to like integrate a new baby into like a step family situation. She's
Oh
like
my
really
gosh.
panicked about that. I feel like she'd be so anxious
Yeah,
about
she
that.
she would definitely be anxious about that. And I feel like Langdon probably wouldn't be as anxious about that portion of it. But I feel like he would be like probably surprised by how anxious he is since he does have two kids and has been through this twice before.
Yeah. Oh
He
yeah,
he
totally.
probably would think that he would not have such a like a over the top reaction, but I feel like he would really freak out.
It reminds me a lot of my favorite fanfic trope, which is him being like, I feel like I'm 16 again, and this is my first crush with her. Where
Hmm.
he's like, I've been married, I presumably was hot in college, like he has experience.
Presumably.
Listen, we don't know, okay? Like, we know what Patrick Ball looked like, but Frank Langdon is a different, his name is Frank, okay?
His name is Frank.
His
That's
name is Frank. I so deeply headcanon that he was like so awkward in high school and then he gets to college and like grows into his weird gangly limbs and like figures out how to like like handle himself. And he immediately is like, what's going on? People think I'm attractive. And he like can never really wrap his mind around it. And I think Abby is like way out of his league. Or like Patrick Ball, who I thought we go Patrick Ball who plays Frank Langdon. We know that. If you're listening to this podcast, you know his name. Um, is like very attractive. Obviously, he's on TV, so I feel like Abby's like a bombshell.
hmm.
And to him, he's like, "Oh my God, I married a woman so out of my league." And instead, it's just when people like look at them, are like, "This is a couple that makes sense to me."
Hmm.
Um,
Totally.
but I can imagine him like when he gets with Mel, he's like, I am 16, like I can't control myself. I'm going insane. Like I need her all the time. I like want to like braid her hair and like cook for her. He's just like he like cannot have he has zero chill, and I imagine that extends to every single part of their relationship, and he's always a little surprised by it. Because he's like, no,
Absolutely.
I've done this before. I'm gonna be chill. And then Mel on the like I imagine she's freaking out, but they're freaking out in like different fonts. So they like
Hmm.
they balance each other out. Like one person can like talk the other one off the ledge a little.
Hmm.
Um, I also really love the idea that they're like so worried about the kids and then they're just so excited. And
Hmm.
they're like there's some issue obviously, but they're not like meeting with school counselors and stuff. It's like very run of the mill new sibling energy,
Hmm.
and they have a whole house where there's no baby, so they can just like, week to week. But instead they're more like, I'm obsessed with the baby. I want to be around the baby at all times. How can I help with the baby? And they're like, all right, this is
Yes.
great. Sick. I also feel like Penny would be, I feel like they do a lot of like, can we play with her? And they're like, she is a potato. This is a newborn. That's not how newborns work. Cause God, I remember when my sister was born, I was so like, I just want to play with her. I want to play with her right
Hmm.
now. And it was like, she can't lift her head. You need to like wait. You need to,
Yeah.
which is not how
It's
children
not
work.
it's not a baby doll.
It's not a baby doll. I feel like Penny would try to put the baby in like a baby doll carriage, and Mel would have to be like, nope, 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 we can't do this right now. Nope, nope, this is not the plan. And we're like, we love the enthusiasm. I've talked about this before with Paige, aka Purple Butterfly Glasses, who's been on the pod twice, almost thrice, and how we think Penny is like a devil child, and she is
Oh,
like
yeah,
so intense, and
absolutely.
Tanner's like so chill, and Penny is Frank's child. That's Frank's
Yes.
daughter, and
Yes.
she's the best, and she's also wild. Wild.
Yeah. She'll run you ragged.
Truly. Okay. Do you
I
think they
think
have?
I think that she would love Mel though. I think that both
Oh,
kids would probably really love her.
oh my God. Because again, like what you said, she's great with kids and
She's
she's great
great
with
with kids.
babies.
She's
Yeah.
great with babies. They would be like obsessed with her.
They would, and I feel like the thing that I love about watching Mel is especially like that like little girl, the sister of the measles patient.
Hmm.
She talks to kids like they're people. She doesn't do the whole like, "How are you today, sweetie?" She's like, "Hi,
Yeah,
I'm Mel.
she
Like I'm Dr. King." Like it's nice. Like she'll be very like talking to them on their level,
hmm
and I feel like Tanner and Penny love her. I heavily headcanon that Penny watches a lot of Tangled and is like, "Oh my God, that's my dad and Mel." And because, when you're a
Yeah.
child, you're like, well, you look like Rapunzel because you have blonde hair. This is how that
Yeah,
works.
yeah.
And, um,
Your
uh,
hair is in a braid, so you're Rapunzel.
yes, exactly. Like, and yeah, Dr. Rapunzel, you're wearing purple, so you're Rapunzel.
Dr.
Uh,
Rapunzel.
Dr. Rapunzel. I feel like she'd call her Dr. Tangled though, because like as a
Yeah,
kid, I never
totally.
remembered that her name was Rapunzel. I was just like, that's Tangled.
That's Tangled.
That's Tangled. My sister and I would play like that's what we called it. We called our stuff our Tangled dress because we
That's so
forgot her name
funny.
was Rapunzel. Yeah. Oh my God. No, I feel like her and Penny get along like a house on fire, and her and Tanner get along really well. I also feel like Becca and the kids get along
Hmm.
really well. I feel
Hmm.
like, especially like Tanner, who I imagine is chiller, like him and Becca can like jam with a Lego set. Like they can lock
Oh,
in
absolutely.
and sit
They
down
can
and chill.
absolutely do that.
And like Becca, like small doses because kids are a lot,
Hmm.
but she will still be like, these are my nieces and nephews, let's chill. Um, and I like one of my favorite fics that isn't really Melpreg, but it is them with a baby is Baby I'm Your Number One Fan by Avocado Moon.
Hmm.
And there's a great line in it about how like Becca gets noise canceling headphones and it makes her an excellent baby watcher. Where Mel can just be like, I'm just gonna put her in the carrier, like I'm gonna put her in the little bouncy seat, like give me 5 seconds. I need to like use the bathroom without someone touching me. Like I will be back
Yeah.
in a minute. And she's just like, all right, chill, and like can like watch the baby and hang out with her. Yeah. Do you think that they have twins? A lot of people think they have twins. I have a
Um,
controversial opinion on this.
I think they could. I think they could have twins. I mean, I have seen a lot of that. And I think it really depends on if Frank has twins in his family too.
Yeah, it does. I also, Mel and Becca, this is a thing. Was talking to someone in the DMs about this recently. Mel and
Hmm.
Becca are not confirmed to be twins. That's fanon. That's headcanon. Because they look around to be the same age. That is a thing that was invented around season one, but she only ever calls her sister. She never calls her twin.
Hmm.
And when we found out Becca's birthday, it would put Mel at like 27 or 28, which is technically possible, but she would have
Hmm.
had to skip grades in school in order for
Hmm.
her to be where she is now. And then she would have had to take no time off for school. Like she has to be like early 30s in
Hmm.
canon in order for like things to line up, especially like if, her parents died. So
Yeah.
I feel like she took like a semester off when her mom died.
Had to. Yeah.
Like yeah, like to figure everything out. You like can't do that while you're full time in
Hmm.
school and like figuring things out and moving Becca presumably into care full time or like into an apartment. So you wind up like so I don't actually think they're twins. I think that Mel is like a couple years older than Becca because Becca's like
Ooh.
27 or 28. Um, I
I I
covered this at some point. And
I respect that. I think that's cool. I like when they're twins, but I don't mind if they're not.
I mean, it's one of those things where like, well, I'm gonna get so worried about some canon ages. These people do not kiss in canon. Who cares? Like, you're gonna start caring about canon now. But I don't know. I kind of love the idea of Mel having of them being sisters and her just being
Hmm.
a couple years older,
Hmm.
and that there was a time when Mel had both her parents to herself. And I wonder if she ever feels kind of guilty that she got more time with them than Becca. And like, there's a lot of avenues for sadness there.
Yeah,
I can
as
also
there is with like all aspects of Mel's life.
exactly. Because if they're twins, like, oh, she's never had a time or she wasn't caring for Becca or
Hmm.
like looking out for her. And if they're not, like, I don't know. I also like when they're not twins in my head, it's almost even lonelier for Mel
Hmm.
because they weren't in the same classes at school. They couldn't do the same activity. Like, she was just a little bit older. Like, that's so sad to me.
It's so sad. Her
Yeah.
sad, sad life.
Her sad life. It is like I just can't imagine doing all that and sacrificing so much and I mean I can't imagine it, but it's rough and financially sacrificing and
Hmm.
I think I've said before that the only thing that's really hers is med school, but can med school really only be yours because it's such a grueling and intense process and residency is really intense and very difficult, and it only gets harder the higher up you go into it,
Hmm.
to the point where like people who are in relationships during it say it's something you survive. Like you have to understand that like everything is on the back burner. It's just your career for 4 years.
Hmm.
And like it's a lot. People burn out, people quit. It's very difficult. And I don't know, there's something about me that's so dead. Like Mel goes home to an empty apartment and a lean cuisine at the end of the day,
She
while her
really
sister,
does.
while her sister is like out having sex with her boyfriend at the expensive care center Mel pays for. And also she's getting sued. Oh,
Ah,
and
I
also the one person
can't.
who cares about her went to rehab and was gone for 10 months. And now he's
It's
back, but he's inexplicably still married.
it's so much. I can't.
And also he
You,
now knows that she has a crush on him,
oh my gosh.
courtesy of Becca.
Courtesy of
Dude,
Becca. I love that like micro expression when you can see it hit his face.
because he's so
That
excited.
yeah.
He's like geeked. He's pumped. He's so ready. He's like,
Yes.
oh my God. Oh my
But
God.
I have this like when I'm like watching that and then having that scene where he realizes that she definitely has a crush on him, I feel like he gets more anxious as the season progresses towards the fireworks scene. Like I feel like he's more aware of himself
Well, his hands aren't
almost.
shaking for no reason. Like,
Exactly.
yeah.
Like I feel like before that it's like, you know, there's the ambiguity there. And he's like he's feeling good. She doesn't hate him. And then that happens and he's like, "Oh my God."
Yep.
And
Yep.
from
He's like,
then I
oh,
feel
it feels like the fantasy, small speckle of fantasy that carried him through a very dark period of his life is becoming real. And I think he's
mhm,
realizing that he's going to need to make some changes in order to act on it. And I also think that
yes.
he is developing a fear that I'm obsessed with Frank having, which is I cannot let this woman down. I need to be everything for her.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that coupled with Mel's inability to have anything for herself and feel like she deserves pleasure and deserves joy makes a very interesting dynamic.
It
Um,
really
one of
does.
my favorite things about Kingdom is that the conflict writes itself. I think
Mhm.
with a lot of ships, the thing that's really compelling is that, like, well, there is actually something keeping them apart besides his failing marriage, which is she has martyred herself her entire life, and he is incapable of thinking he deserves anything good after what he did.
Mhm.
Um, and the two of them are kind of fighting against it and feeling like they need to, be everything for everyone. And like what does it look like when those two people actually give into it and can, and also like just also the mechanics of their life make it difficult for them to date, which is very interesting.
Absolutely.
There's just so many things about them that are compelling.
So
And
compelling.
I feel like when you get to a certain point with the ship, you're like, I will just start thinking about like the minutia where I'm like, I again like what is the thing that rattled around in Frank Langdon's head for so long that Mel made the very short list of people he apologized to when he
Mhm.
got back from rehab, which did not include McKay, Samira, Javati, Whitaker. It was Dana, Robbie, Mel, and sort of Santos.
And like Louis, I guess, right?
And Louis. Louis makes a lot of sense, and I imagine if he ever
Yes.
encounters another patient he stole from, he would also apologize. But
Certainly.
I can't like no other nurses, none of
No.
his other, not Samira Mohan, who he's worked side by side with for years. Like, and I get that. Like, listen, coworkers are coworkers, but
Mhm.
I saw a great post that was like, they're not all best friends, they're coworkers. And I was like, well, they're also my Barbie dolls that I'm smushing together to make Kiss. So, like, I don't know what you're on. Because I was like, I mean, yeah, in canon, sure, but like, we're not living in that reality. Like I have two brains. One of them lives in canon and one of them lives in fanon. And right now I'm in fanon mode, so like leave me alone. But
Mhm.
I it's just like I mean, he's mentored other people before. He applied for the teaching fellowship. He's been doing this for 4 fucking years. Robbie was going to help him get into it. Like he this one person looked up to him so much and he cared about her so much that he thought about her for long enough to one remember her after like a lot of traumatic things happened to him, and two thought to fucking ask for her forgiveness.
Mhm.
And when she takes it, the scene gets cut off by the cops. Like top 10 reasons to hate cops. But he just another reason, just throw it on the pile. They come in and she goes like, you never let me down, and she's so fucking earnest when she says it, and it kills me because
She's always so earnest.
she just forgives him instantly. God, that fucking scene. He because he kind of did let her down. He left without saying, well, I guess he came back. You're
Mhm.
here. I can't.
Ugh.
I mean, but I also just I get that. I one time in my life someone got me when no one else got me, and they were the only person. And I remember that feeling so well, and I relate so deeply to Mel just getting so attached to him immediately because
Mhm.
when you feel that alone and that isolated for that long, and someone tries to know you and makes the effort and checks in on you and sees through your facade, it's actually game over. It's in fact game over. And then I just like, I don't know, I just imagine him like, I love the idea of them having their happy ending after going through everything they have, and them having their baby and them being happy and like, getting to go home to their little family. And I don't know, my other little headcanon that I'll throw in here that I did write a fic about is that I love the idea of their kids like when they play doctor, they call it playing mommy or playing daddy,
That's
because
so
in their head
cute.
they're like, oh, my parents are doctors. And like,
Mhm.
I also love the idea of on occasion, like Jake coming to hang out and visit Robbie. I love the idea of like teenage Tanner like driving to pick up his parents at the end of a shift, or like they're like, we don't want to drive, or the little kids coming in. And like I wrote a fic where like Mel brings the baby in and everyone's like, oh my God, and like freaks out, just like hanging out with her, just like, surprising him after her shift, and like they're hanging out in the break room, and she's just like, I'm so tired and so overstimulated, but I just want to see my husband. I also think it'd be interesting, like Mel's fought really hard to have this career because she had to go through medical school and finish college while solo caregiving and grieving. I don't know, I think a lot about her being like, I don't want to lose being a doctor. I want to keep
Mhm.
this. I
Mhm.
care a lot about my career, and I'm making a sacrifice to have a family, but it aligns so well with her values that I'm not surprised by it at all. Like, I
Yeah,
think that, like you were saying, she just wants to be a part of something.
absolutely. Do you think they'd have more than one kid?
I think they have two kids. In my head, they have a girl and a boy, with the girl
Mhm.
being older. And by in my head, I also mean in my fanfic universe, I write where I'm like, because like my brain and like what I write down for fanfic, I feel like are very different sometimes. Where like in your head, you can have like four different possibilities and storylines because it's your head and
Yes.
no one can tell you what to do. And then in fanfic world, once I make a choice, I have to kind of stick to it. Um,
Yeah, in
but
fanfic world.
I love that I'm like talking about the constraints of a medium that famously has no constraints. I sometimes listener, when you're writing pregnancy fic, map that shit out in advance because you will be like, oh, I said it was this season and now it needs to be this season, because like the passage of time does exist in the way
Yes,
it
it
doesn't in
does.
a lot of other fanfic where you can be like, well, I haven't mentioned the weather, so it's winter now. And it's like, no, no, you got to be like really intense about it, and like you can't go back. Like once you like, oh, I have like when I was writing my longer bear pregnancy fic, I remember getting so frustrated with myself because I was like, oh, this scene would have worked so much better at like this period of time, but now she's like 30 weeks and I can't write it here, and I'm like getting pissed off and being like, girl, it's not that serious. But yeah, I think they have two kids. I think they like are opposite to Tanner and Penny, so they have a girl and then a boy.
Mhm.
And I also had canon heavy that Tanner wants a brother and is kind of bummed.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. I I could see them with one kid. I could see them having like a ton of kids. I could see that it really, I guess it depends on which fanfic world you're going with.
Listen, I've read every version, and every version I love.
Mhm.
I've read Secret Affair Baby. Um
Yes.
I've read Accidental Pregnancy before the divorce is finalized. There's that really good
Oops.
fic I need to link. I feel like we were all reading
Please
it.
do.
That's the Abby's POV. I'm working on the master doc of all the fics I've mentioned because I mentioned so many, and I do be getting DMs from people like, "What was that fic?" And I'm like, oh, I gotta go find it now. Because sometimes I don't bookmark them, and they're just like they pop into my mind. But there's like this.
I think an affair baby is really compelling though.
I'm obsessed with Affair Baby, Secret Affair Baby,
Secret
Secret Affair
affair
Baby. Well,
baby.
there's that fic I read, I think by your wife, where
Yeah.
they have the Secret Affair Baby, and it looks just like Frank, and she's just like, we're fucked. We're
Yeah.
fucked, right?
She's
Or
like
there's a
she says we're in trouble.
yes, we're in trouble. We're in so much trouble. Oh my God, that fic is so good. Or there's a great series where like it started out as smut right after the MCI. Like he knows he's gonna go home and have to go to rehab, so he's like, let me have sex with her.
Mhm.
And they do, and then they conceive, and he comes back and he's like, what fucking asshole left Mel King alone, like to have a baby? And then
The
she has
calls
them, and
coming from the
the
house,
calls coming from
man.
inside the house, Frank. And like he like meets her and the baby, and he looks at the baby and she's like, that's my baby. And she had to like tell, like she like has the baby and she's like, fuck, I had to tell my coworkers it's Frank's because he looks exactly like Frank and everyone's gonna know it's Frank's. And the fic has two chapters and they don't even wind up together in it, but it's still so compelling to read because like the trust issues that happened of like he was gone. She had no way of reaching him. So she
Mm-hmm.
had this whole baby and he is so upset that he wasn't there for her and is trying
Mm-hmm.
so hard to be there for her. I also love so much that she's like remember like talking to the baby and he like sings the baby a song at one point and she's like you used to only calm down for Megan the Stallion and then she's like humming Big Old Freak to her baby and I'm like Mel King would so do that. I feel that so deeply.
Yeah, she totally would.
I also, I don't know, I just I feel like something kind of cursed would happen to them and they'd be like, "Oh my God." Or I mean, I don't know, I read a fic where like their baby was great and like super well behaved and very chill and then there's one like in Baby I'm Your Number One Fan, they have like a really hard baby who's very
Mm-hmm.
difficult to soothe and it's like all avenues I love. There's no
Yeah.
bad way to do Melpreg. All
No,
options are
it's all
great.
good. It's all good. Like, does she have a calm pregnancy? Is she uncomfortable the whole time? Is she a pro? Is she bad at it? Who knows? I like all of it.
I like all of it. I want every single option.
Mhm.
Oh my God, there's one that's also great where like the All My Marbles in the Fight, which is in my head is like a foundational Kingdom fic. It was like one of the first ones I read when I first really got into the fandom. Um because I started shipping them around episode 5 when the show was originally airing and the pickings were slim. So
Yeah.
shout out to Avocado Moon who fed us early. Like I feel like God, I remember reading Two Player when it came out so distinctly and being like, this fucking rules. But there's like a great fic that's like a great fic and it's all the bets for her
Hmm.
pregnancy. So like when did they conceive the kid? Like when's she gonna have it? Like what's the name gonna be? And there's a great one where like she craves apples and so they like give money you give like a fiver to a mod in the morning and they're like how many apples is she gonna eat and then Mel catches on and like starts lying about how many apples she ate but I love the idea of them like betting on different aspects of it like she's craving something and they're like how much is she gonna eat of this or betting on like how many times Langdon checks in on her or how many times he's like maybe you should sit down. I'm also obsessed with all the fics where she finds out she's pregnant or like everyone finds out via her like fainting or like needing like a
Hmm.
blood test done at work and Robbie's like any chance you're pregnant? Mel's like, well,
What?
well, hey, heads up.
Oh
Um,
no.
yeah. This is fun fact. Yeah, I feel like Robbie would be so excited to like meet the baby and would be like, "Oh my God, this is like beef with Frank Langdon squash. I love this infant." Because like I also love the idea of Mel and Santos's friendship and Santos like being like anti-Santos and trying to turn the baby against Frank and being like I love the idea of like
She's
they're
whispering
just
deceitful little hatreds
and
into the
he's just like,
baby's
don't say
ears.
that. Yeah, literally, don't say that to my child. Or like very sibling energy of like
Hmm.
uh learning how to say things. I also have been having a lot of fun in my head coming up with the different nicknames that Garcia would call her. And the only one I have right now is I feel like she'd call her like teen mom or 16 and pregnant. And Mel would be like, I'm 33. And
I'm
she'd be
33.
like, yeah, well, you're tiny and you have like the soul of it. Like you're like so whimsical. But I feel like I can just imagine Garcia being like her like wheels turning in her head, just like trying to come up with a good nickname of her being like, okay, because I mean, I don't know, her nicknames for Frank are great. And then
Hmm.
she
Yeah,
has
she gets right down to it,
she really does. She really just I mean, she gave us ER Ken, a gift to the
Hmm.
fandom.
Yeah, very much
Garcia's a
so.
Kingdon and she doesn't know it yet. Like that's my truth.
Yeah.
Um I
She
also
probably does know it.
yeah, she does. Her calling you're gonna make a great ex-husband one day, Robbie. Rabinavit bitch. I feel like she calls him that at one
I
point. Like
think
it's
so.
great. Her nicknames for everyone are so good. I like to imagine that she started calling Park the shark. Like I feel like she started that. But if anyone asked,
Totally.
she'd completely deny it. She'd be like, "No, that was just organic." Her calling Mel sadness. Like
Hmm. That
I
was a
don't
good
know.
one.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think of like the idea of. I feel like she finds out they're dating and she goes home just like with like a smile on her face. Like I have so many opportunities for jokes.
She's like, I need to start workshopping this.
She's like a no app on her phone where she's
Yeah,
just
no
like,
sap
okay.
pulled up.
Like literally like ready. I don't know. I feel like Mel, I can imagine Mel like nauseous, like sitting tardy, like nursing a sprite, and Samira is like, "Well, you are pregnant with the spawn of Satan." And she's like, Don't do this to me. That's my husband." Um, in Divine Pitying about the fanfic I have plugged in almost every podcast episode, Trinity keeps. They're not together, but Trinity keeps trying to give her domestic violence awareness pins and like pamphlets, and she's like, stop doing this. But every time I read it, I'm like, that's hilarious. That's art. Like Trinity
She's
Santos
so
would do
funny.
that. Um, If any, I also like can imagine Jack Abbott and Samira Mohan babysitting their kids because I don't think Jack and Samira would have kids. I can imagine them
Hmm.
fostering, but
Totally, I could totally see them as foster parents.
even when Samira said, "My eggs are dying, like I'm not gonna be able to have kids," I was like, "You do not strike me as someone who wants kids." Mel,
Hmm.
100%. Mel, who's always wanted a
100%.
family. Samira is so I miss her already. She is
I
so
miss her so much.
she's not like she's not even really gone all the way. She's not gone until season 3 starts airing. Like that's my truth.
Hmm.
But I miss her so much. Like I don't know, I just can't imagine her having kids. I feel like they wrote that in. I was like, that feels wrong. That's not correct. Everyone else too. It's I don't know. It's like how I can't imagine Princess in like a committed relationship. Like no, that she's for the streets, and that's her truth. And like she is always, and that is because Princess knows who she is, and she knows that she's a lot to offer the world. Um, or like Mateo would like I feel like Mateo would be a bad boyfriend. Like there are things that are my truth. Or Dr. McKay being anything but a lesbian. I'm so happy she got to flirt with that hot guy, but that's a bush lesbian. Like don't pit writers stop lying to my she's wearing Vans in the ER. Stop lying to my face.
I
Um
love her so much.
she's so important to me. She's so important to me. I want to do like an episode about like the other pit ships, and I feel like it would just me be me ranting about McVody and how much I love the
Yeah,
idea of
that
that
is a good
dynamic.
one.
That's so good. It feels like very similar to Kingdon, but like weirder in all the right
Hmm.
ways. It has the same appeal to me as like Huckle Robbie, but
Hmm.
I don't really care about I like Huckle Robbie because I
I
support
yeah,
the girls, and if the girls want
I
to ship Huckle Robbie, I support them.
I support Huckle Robbie. It's not my favorite though.
It's not my if. I like I just don't really care. I'm just not really
Exact.
like
I'm indifferent.
I I I don't know. It's one of those things where I'm like, why would I read about this guy's man pain when Frank's man pain's right here and I'm way more
His
interested in it?
his
Like,
man pain
and
is
also
so sexy.
literally, like, I have chronic pain. I want to, like, I'm gonna dive right in. Like, like, but I'm also like, I mean, I'm not a monster. I'll see a Dennis Whitaker house in Nebraska and I'll be like, I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. But also
they're
don't look at
there.
me and say that man's straight. In what fucking world? That is, I can't do this. It's also so important to me, like, no Wiley shipping Huckle Robbie.
He's
That like
always bringing. No one's asked. No one's telling him to bring. He's bringing that shit up on his own.
oh my God. I saw an interview where like a interviewer was like, I'm gonna end my interview with being like Mel Langdon forever. And Patrick is like, yeah. And like he looks like kind of bummed. Meanwhile, if you did that with like interviewers stop bringing up Kingdon to them, they don't want to talk about it. Like they will talk about Kingdon organically. Like every interview they
Hmm.
do where they're like, "What do you think about fan shipping?" They're like, "I can't believe they're shipping. I can't believe they're misconstruing this platonic relationship. Taylor's like my little sister." And then the next breath he'll be like, "He just wants to be good for her. They need each other more desperately than romantically. Mel's never had anyone like this in her life." And it's like, "Okay, they
Literally.
will build Kingdon cathedrals on their own. You just got to let them do it." Like it feels like when like you have to like let a kid figure out how to do something for the first time. We were like, no, like they'll figure it out. You just like it's really frustrating to watch, but like you gotta give them a minute. You gotta let them cook.
Yeah,
Okay.
I almost puts my tinfoil hat on for a second. Maybe they. I feel like maybe they even signed NDAs. You know, maybe they're not allowed
I
to.
my truth, and I've brought this up before, is this is it's always really funny for me to say because I'm fully 20, which is I'm young, I'm an idiot. This is not my first rodeo when it comes to this type of ship, which is
Hmm.
a very specific thing of prestige television catering towards like smart intellectuals
Hmm.
that wants to win Emmys and therefore thinks it's above the vapid ship fandom culture,
Hmm.
which is really just showrunners being openly misogynistic.
Yeah.
Will die on this hill, which is that no, they didn't sign NDAs. No, they didn't. Like it's never. It reminds me a lot of like there's a certain point where it's like you kind of have to do the thing. Like you have to do the conformity gate, you have to do the secret good episode of Sherlock, you have to do the actors are lying to us. And at least for me, I really had a minute with Sid Carmi where I was like, this shit's gonna happen. And then it didn't. And even though like I went in being like, no, it's not gonna happen, I'm gonna like really guard my heart, like I'm gonna be good about it, I still wanted it to happen and was really devastated when it didn't. And I'm
Hmm.
still pretty devastated watching the show because they are telling an incredible slow burn love story and refuse to do it right, and it's so frustrating. Um, And I also just feel like I've been queer baited enough in my life that like I
Totally.
can't do it with the heterosexual people. And I just refuse to believe with TV shows. I think every showrunner and every writer is dumb until proven otherwise. Because like if you look for meaning and stuff, you can start to see it everywhere. Like I have a niche lore master doc. Like I am not immune to this at all.
Hmm.
In it, I'll be like, well, there are a lot of little things that really point to them being canon, but I'm just gonna chalk all of them up to production errors because if not, I'm gonna go insane. Like it's not.
Totally.
And so this is like the deepest debate. I'm planning on doing a canon or non-canon episode because I feel like I talk about this every episode with every guest. I it's really weird to be in a position of like making a lot of content and being really, really active in a fandom that I actively don't believe is going to go canon because I just don't think it will. Don't I like don't have enough hope if that makes any sense. Like
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I also am not trying to get any hopes up because, we've all been crushed in the past.
haven't we all? They literally wrote off Samira. Like they don't care.
They don't care, but it would be nice.
God, it would be nice if it comes out that like they that they have signed NDAs that they know something, especially after that Collider thing that Gemmell said where he was like, "Well, Mel's growing adoration." Like if that comes out, I will wind up on the news. Like if you will know, I will be hospitalized. Like I will call out of work and run around and like frolic in the sunshine. Like I will be thriving on a level no one has ever thrived before.
It would be insane.
It would be
But
insane. God,
I'm happy with my crumbs.
listen,
We
and
can make cathedrals out of the smallest, tiniest little.
everything is a Kingdom Cathedral if you're insane. Like I don't like I'll see something green and purple next to each other and be like, oh my god, Kingdom. And I'm like, girl, you gotta calm the fuck down. You are in public. Or even just like working at the hospital, I'm like, Kingdom Cathedrals are everywhere with those with eyes to see. And then I'm like, girl,
Yeah.
you are just at work. You're just buying a Pop Tart from the vending machine in the ED. This is not a Kingdom Cathedral. Like, calm down. Control it. What we all say to Frank and also low key Patrick Ball. Control it. Um,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
also if not going canon, why looking at each other like that?
Yeah, it's whatever they're choosing to do there.
I can't believe that they get on mic and are like, we are playing it as a friendship. We made the conscious choice to play this platonic, and then just like stare at each other's lips and are like, I love you for like the whole season. It's like,
Pretty much.
guys, this is like a great, again, from the Bear fandom, like a great post a mutual of mine made forever ago, which is can't the director just tell them to stop looking at each other like that if that's not the point? Like, why are they doing this? Like, can't the people who are, I don't know. I mean, they're not going canon, but also God really smells and looks, if it walks like canon, it talks like canon. You know what I mean? But if it walks like a duck, if it talks like a duck, it's probably a horse. Like, that's how it is with these fucking shows. Um, Anyway, okay, we should move on to asks. If you want to submit your asks to the Kingdom Radio Hour podcast, all you have to do is send an ask to my Tumblr at tvgremlin@tumblr.com with the start of For the Pod. Before every episode is recorded, I try to give about 5 days notice. I will put out the topic for the episode along with some prompts, which is what most people who responded this week are responding. You can respond anonymously, you can respond with your username, you can put in a note that you want to be called something specific, and also any asks you send in also don't have to be related to the topic of the pod. There have been some great asks in the past that were sent in for rewatch episodes or other episodes that were just asking questions about Kingdom in general that were super fun to answer. So always feel, if you have a thought and you want to share it, feel free to send it. You don't have to like save it for when we talk about that. And every ask is appreciated, and there's a really, really good chance you will wind up on the show. Yeah, that's my little soliloquy. Okay, let's go back to what Allison said of Allison of Allison After Dark, my girl. For the pod,
Yes.
we love her so much. For the pod, my thoughts on Melpreg. I personally think it could go either way. I think there's a chance Mel and Frank are more than happy to settle down with Tanner and Penny, Mel not wanting to be pregnant and Frank already having 2 kids and then being plenty for him. But I think there's also a chance that Mel really wants to have a child of her own. Taylor said that when they were filming the delivery scene, she had a few lines of Mel just saying, "I love babies." And Frank really wants a mini Mel to love just as much as his OG Mel, lol. I think this is absolutely a conversation they would have and would need to have in order to move forward. I personally lean more towards they're content with Tanner and Penny, and I think Mel be the world's greatest stepmom in the whole fucking world, and I already know I'm Team Frank is the world's greatest dad. I am Team Frank is a really bad husband and a really good dad. I think preg-
Absolutely.
I think pregnancy for Mel would be a sensory nightmare, real. I feel like she would probably be miserable the entire time, and Frank would just absolutely bend for her every will. She would constantly wear loose, flowy clothes and would want as little contact with anything as possible. She'd probably be so itchy and hot the entire time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Abby's reaction all depends on the timing. If it's early in their relationship, and this goes along with my headcanon that Tanner was an accidental pregnancy and Abby and Frank only got married because she got pregnant. I love that headcanon so much. We
Me
haven't really talked about
too.
that as a headcanon on the pod yet, but that is like a very iconic. I feel like there's like three like really iconic why Abby and Frank are married headcanons, and that's one of them.
Hmm.
She would absolutely judge the fuck out of Frank and probably tear into him for it. Yeah. Not to Mel, just to Frank. But if
Yeah.
it's planned and they've been together for a while, and this one goes along with my headcanon that Abby and Mel become besties and absolutely love each other, I think she'd be elated for them and is excited for Tanner and Penny to have another sibling to love and cherish. I also don't think Abby would have any more kids if she were to get remarried. I feel like she'd be like, shop is closed, I'm done. And I love the idea of that too, of like her being like, great, they'll have another sibling and I don't have to do it. Um, I think the pit crew would have mixed reactions, again, depending on the timing. I think if they've been together for a while and people have become comfortable with the fact that Mel and Frank being together is happening and it's not going anywhere, everyone would be so fucking happy for them. I think if it's too soon, Robbie, Santos, and Dana would be the most vocal with their disappointment, but would eventually get over it. Robbie because of Collins, Santos because of her disdain for Frank, and Dana because she's just real and such a mom. Like, Dana's clocking that Frank needs to get divorced the entirety of season two.
Yeah,
But all in
she's
all, yeah. Shouldn't you run this by the missus first? Babe. But all in all, the idea of Mel and Frank having a kitty little baby of their own makes my heart so happy, and I think everyone would eventually be happy for them as well. Maybe one day we will get that, but honestly, I doubt it. Cry. For now, we will all just have to make do with fic. Anyway, go read Angel's Evie series. Thank you for plugging my fanfic. I am too afraid to do it myself. Thank you. Yeah, I totally agree with all of that. I'm also thinking of like, God, I'm thinking of like the reactions, especially of like he like knocks her up early in the relationship, which I
hmm.
also kind of stand when that happens. I read some fics with that and I'm like, I love mess. Like Marie Kondo, I love mess. Uh, I love the idea of Robbie being like, are you sure you know what you're doing? That's our best resident. And Dana just like being so disappointed in him and being like, dude, you gotta get your shit together. And Frank being like, I'm stepping up, I got this. I also, again, heavy Tanner was an accident. Why?
He's like a COVID baby, isn't he?
He's a COVID baby, so canonically,
Canonically.
Canonically, Abby Langdon had a newborn during COVID while
Hmm.
Frank was full blown early COVID, like some of the worst of it, seeing people die every day as an intern in the ED.
Hmm.
And she's
Yeah.
home alone with a newborn.
Do you think like would he even be able to have like quarantined with them if he was working actively in an ER?
Um, it depends. It's interesting because I have done some research into this, because I'm a big old nerd, especially for like medical stuff. But some people chose to quarantine with their family.
Hmm.
So there are definitely stories of like, I've even seen, I know of a family, this was in Canada though, where the dad was an EMT and they had a incredibly medically fragile child at home. And he continued to live with the family. They just were like really strict about stuff. For the most part, like the stories I've seen, it's like either doctors lived together and like kind of potted, or they, especially if like they lived alone and were like just so isolated,
Yeah, I mean,
or
I had a COVID baby,
oh my
so
God, love.
he's actually like he's like Tanner's age. And it was, I mean, he was like a preemie, so
Oh wow, that's a lot.
I certainly would not have let Frank Langdon into my house. He
No, no. I was also a preemie. Fun fact.
Oh
That's super
yeah,
cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
preemie club.
I think we make the best people. I was like a barely there preemie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations though. That's sick.
Oh, thank
That's very
you.
cool. Kingdom Youth. No, I'm kidding. No, no. God, you're a saint for still drawing for us while having a small child. It's
Oh,
so
no, I have two, so.
Oh, I know you have two. I know you have two. I shouldn't want like know if you want to talk about the pod. I was just gonna be like, damn, that's just wow. We appreciate your service. Um, I do
Yeah,
a lot of babysitting. Yeah.
I would have put his ass in a motel or something. Like he would have
No,
been
so
sleeping in an
there's like
on-call room.
yeah, I there were that was an option. I've seen some hospitals do. I'm aware of like parents who like if they like older kids, they'd be like stripping in like the hallway out of their
Hmm.
scrubs they wear to work, showering and then they'd spend time with their family. But but like even like those doctors I've seen talk about it were like, I don't sleep in the same bed as my wife, and
Uh-huh.
I like don't like hug my kids, but like we're interacting. Um, yeah, I am heavy on the headcanon that he slept on Robbie's couch, and that
Yeah.
that's how he
Oh
found
my
out Robbie and
God.
Collins were dating because Robbie and Collins quarantined together, and also
Wait,
that's when Collins
Lang.
got pregnant.
Oh my God. That's so scandalous.
I
But
know.
Langdon in the Robbie pod.
Langdon and Robbie, like maybe that's why they're so close. He's like, I'm one
Maybe
of your
that's
best
why.
friends.
Maybe he was living in Robbie's house during COVID.
Yeah. He's sleeping in Robbie. He's like, yeah, but well, he does say he's been to Robbie's place. It's very
Yeah,
nice. So
he
maybe
does.
like,
He says it like in kind of a strange way too, like a jealousy kind of way.
I mean, listen. If Mel didn't exist, if there wasn't compelling female characters for me to ship Langdon with, I would be all about that
Oh,
Robbie
yeah.
Langdon
I mean,
Whitaker.
it's there. It's there.
Listen, I support it wholeheartedly.
Yes,
I will
absolutely.
watch edits of it and be like, this is tea, but I'm not I'm not engaged with it. Yeah, it's so good. I don't know. Yeah, just like I also there's again, I read a really great fic. It was like four times Frank Langdon had five times Frank Langdon had a panic attack, and one time he should have. Where it actually ends with Mel telling him she's pregnant, but he has like a panic attack, freaking out because he has a newborn at home who he can't spend time with,
Hmm.
and he is watching people die all day, and he's like the pain of him, this is like pretty well explored in a lot of fanfic, is like the pain of him dealing with not being there for his not being there for the first few months of his child's life,
Hmm.
and not being there for the first few months, like not being there for his wife and like not supporting her, and how and like watching all these people die and how painful that must be. And then also that gets focused on a lot, but I think a lot about how truly horrific it must have been for Abby to do that alone.
Hmm.
And just the pandemic was hard on everybody. And the mental toll of watching people die with a newborn baby must have been fucking horrific.
Yeah.
Like I it's awful it's awful all the way down. It's horrible all the way down. It is like everyone in the pit is having a sad backstory off, and like
And they're
that
all winning.
they're all winning. Like Santos, I feel like Santos can really take the cake, but like damn, like Robbie's mentor dying, like
Hmm.
Abbott Abbott losing a leg and having a dead wife and PTSD, Al Hashimi like also having PTSD and a seizure disorder from meningitis as a child, Mel being an orphan who's the sole caregiver for her adult sister, Langdon who like again like had his kids at like horrible times,
Horrible
and
times.
like definitely has something going on that led to him getting addicted to benzos other than like his, crippling chronic pain. Um, Collins' miscarriage and abortion, like, and then also like you factor into it, you're just like, oh, also like especially with the women, I'm like they also just like are existing as women, which is like
Yeah.
also like
And then they see
unfortunately necessary.
horrors all day, every day.
Just all day, just horrors you can't imagine. Like
Unimaginable horrors.
I don't work in the emergency department, and I've seen horrors, and it's crazy, and you're like, oh, okay. And then you just keep working and it's
Yeah.
fucking crazy every time because you're like, oh, okay. Like, I don't know. It's such a trip. Yeah, damn. I don't know. I love the idea of Dana and Robbie. Again, tying back to the ask, I love the idea of Dana and
Hmm.
Robbie being like, do you know what you're doing with her? Um,
Yeah, being
which
kind of protective, and he's like, "Hey, I'm the protective one."
I'm the protective one of Mel. I also love the idea of Mel being like, it's cute when he does it. Don't do this to me. Like, I also wonder, like, they kind of have to earn that shit, and they really haven't. Like, they're not there for her.
Hmm. No,
Robbie
I mean
walks away when she's
he's
talking.
the only one. He's literally Frank is the only one.
It's so depressing that he's the only one.
He's the only one. In 10 months, he's the only one.
10 entire months, and it was just him.
It was
You
just
know, yeah. And I also love that he comes back and Santos is like, this is my time. Because they are so sibling and they are fighting over their toy.
him.
Okay.
But
Next
yeah, yeah,
ass. Oh, sorry.
tying back. Wait,
No, tie
tying
back,
back,
tie back, tie back, tie
tying
back.
back. I also agree that I could also see them not having kids, but for the context of the Melpreg episode, I think that them having kids is very compelling.
Yes, I
Um,
agree. I love Allison being like, it's definitely a conversation they should have. And I'm like, I feel like
I feel like they talk each other in circles about whether or not they should have kids.
I feel like the should we have kids conversation is fully like, do you want kids? Well, do you want kids? Well, do you want kids? And then they like at the end are just like, okay, we like I feel like at a certain point they're like, say it on three. Because I can imagine Frank being like, I have two kids I love so much, and like, I adore them and it's amazing. and I am super like, I'm very content and happy with the children I have. And Mel's like, yeah, I'm content with the children we have in our lives, and I've been a caregiver my whole life, but also, and Frank's like, yeah, but also,
But
um, which
also,
is why
maybe
I
Frank
don't hate in
married.
fanfic where she's pregnant. Like, there's a great one I read that's like for a microfic challenge from forever ago, and they like the way that they get to finding out that they have that they're gonna have their second kid is Tanner asks for a brother for his birthday, and Mel and Langdon are gonna he's like, should we talk about it? And they talk about it, and she's like, well, I was waiting for the right time to tell you. She like
Oh,
pulls out the
birthday
she has like a phrase
present
that she's like,
incoming.
hey. And with their first kid, they also didn't really talk about it. Like, she got pregnant. He was like, what do you want to do? Like, this is you have choices. And she's like, let's have the baby. And they're like, great. And they have the baby. And it was like kind of a whirlwind and surprise, but they're still really happy about it. And then this time, he's like, next time we'll talk about it beforehand. She's like, baby, there is no next time. Like, this is it. We're done now. Like, we're having this one. Let's be done. Um, yeah, I love the idea of like they have one kid where they're like really structured and really planned, and the second one they're just like, oops, surprise.
Oopsies. I mean,
Whoopsies.
because they're like going at it all the time, so
Well, he can't keep his hands off her.
he
Like,
can't.
he just can't. I
What
also,
did you think's gonna happen?
like, when she's carrying his child, life ruined. He's destroyed. He can't do this anymore. Like, he is watching her working on a trauma, just like with his mouth open. Like, that's my
He
girl.
he can't handle himself.
He can't. He
Mm.
can't. Like, again, Garcia having a field day. Like,
Hmm.
somewhere punching the air. Okay. All right, our next ass is from Frijoles con Tortillas, who thank you for letting me use my bad Spanish accent. I'm a terrible Mexican. Okay, for the pod, I think originally Mel is against having children. As much as she loves babies and kids, she absolutely loves Tanner and Penny, but she knows it's different from having your own kids. She has more responsibility towards them once she and Langdon are married, but she ultimately knows that at the end of the day, they both have their mom and dad. She's been a caretaker for so long, and now that Becca is living with Adam, she can finally have time for herself to prioritize her own wants and needs. Frank absolutely wanted to have kids with Mel, but after a few arguments, he realized that she wasn't going to change her mind, and it wasn't a deal breaker for him. I hate to be cliche, but what makes Mel change her mind is that she loves seeing Frank with his kids. When babies are brought to the ED and he's so gentle with them, and gosh damn it, it absolutely does something to her. And the thought of a baby with his eyes and her hair is something she didn't realize she wanted until she starts fantasizing about it. She makes lists with the pros and cons. She knows due to her nature of the job and because of the timing that Frank would not be the most present father when his kids were born. But now he's attending with a better schedule and he has more time to spend with them. There's some guilt with her on her end that the new baby would take away his time with Tanner and Penny too. Once she decides that she wants a baby, she has this whole speech planned for him. But that day there's a multiple vehicle accident and a family with kids is brought in. Frank is so gentle and so caring with the kids that when she's alone with him. She's like, forget the speech and just drags him to an empty corridor and tells him she wants a baby. That's real. I feel like Mel would do that.
Totally,
When she's
absolutely.
when she's pregnant, they don't care if it's a boy or girl. They just want a healthy pregnancy for Mel. By this time, Mel and Abby have a good relationship. They're not besties, but they get along. That feels very canon to me. I feel like Abby would be the better person, which like bigger person. And like I feel like Mel is impossible to hate. I feel like
Yeah,
she'd be like,
that's I think that's what is really key is like no matter what kind of Abby personality you give her, like if you set Mel Bunny down in front of her, how are you supposed to be that mad at her?
she's impossible. She's perfect. Sorry.
Yeah.
I also feel like I have become friends not on purpose, but have befriended a couple of my awful exes, like ex-girlfriends, just because they were great and were like delightful. And I was like, I
Hmm.
can't hate you. I want to hate you because like I have emotions, but for the most part, I just think you're delightful and fun to be around. And I feel like that would happen to Abby, where she'd be like, and listen, I have someone to talk shit about Frank with. And then Belle's like, actually, I don't want to do that. She's like, yeah, respect. Um,
She's like,
I
God, you're
She's like, damn
delightful.
it. Because I feel like she'll be like, isn't it so annoying when he snores? And Mel's like, no, I've never slept better in my life. And she's like, God damn it. And she's like, not even like being shitty to her. She's just like, nope. I just really earnestly love everything about this man. And Abby's
She
like, yeah,
literally does.
Abby like looks at her and is like, we were always destined for divorce. Like, I get it. Um, yes, okay. When they tell Abby she's surprised it didn't happen sooner, but then she's remarried as well with her new partner already has children from her previous relationship and she has no plans for new kids. High key agree. And Tanner and Penny are ecstatic too. Becca is too. She has a good relationship with Penny and Tanner. And Adam has nephews and nieces too, but this is Mel's baby. The rest of the ED react like Abby. They expect it to happen right away. After all, Frank had two kids in quick succession, lol, but they're happy for
Yeah.
them. Santos just sighs and tells Frank he's lucky that baby will be half Mel. He agrees. I also love the idea of Garcia and Santos making fun of Frank and being like, "You found two separate women to carry on your awful bloodline. Like, what witchcraft are you putting these people under?" Um, Ahmad starts the betting, of course, gender, names, if it's going to be twins, date of birth, etc. They want to keep the gender a secret. Hard to do, and they're both doctors, but they somehow manage it. Their first baby is a girl, has blue eyes, Mel's blonde hair, and they decide of a second one. Well, it ends up being their second and third baby. T. This person like wrote a mini fanfic in my asks, and they are like, frijoles con tortillas, you are a gift. Thank you. I love everything about this. I love the idea of Mel being really convinced that she didn't want children, and Frank being like, "That's great," and like super content with that, and they're just fine because he just wants what's best for her. And then her getting so comfortable and having the freedom of being actually taken care of for once, and discovering herself and realizing that no, I just didn't want something else to take care of, but now I'm realizing like, oh, I do actually want this. I do want this family with you because I feel safe enough to actually have wants and needs for once in my life.
Absolutely. And I think that it's very, what am I trying to say here? I can really see Mel having kind of this internal struggle with whether or not she wants to have kids, because she has been taking care of not just Becca but also her mom and maybe her dad, we don't know.
I don't know.
Like, it's she's never had time for herself. So I absolutely could see a world in which she just kind of wants time for herself.
Yeah,
Um but I also feel like I mean, Langdon did have two kids in quick succession.
he did. I there is I
There's
like
something to be said about this.
there is something to be said about this of like maybe he's just like the most like I really can't with like I again Garcia's gonna call her Fertile Myrtle. I I like there again, I will link it. I can't remember the name right now, but this great fic where like Mel gets pregnant like 6 months into their relationship. Or like Abby and Frank have been divorced for 6 months and she's pregnant. And Abby's like, either you are the most fertile man in the entire world or you're a doctor who's horrible at contraception. And he's like, Abby, I can't do this right now because he's like freaking the fuck out. And
It's
it
like,
always gets
Abby,
me.
it's both.
Abby, it's both. I'm an idiot. I can't do this. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't. I also but I also love the idea of Mel being like, I'm taking out my IUD and him being like, I am feral now. I'm a
Mhm.
rabid dog, actually.
He can't handle himself.
He can't he doesn't know how to control like literally Frank control it. But I feel like once they get my favorite thing about them is I just know that when they get together, he gets so much worse. Like
So much worse. And he was bad before.
he was bad before. Everyone's clocking them day two, and he is bad. I also like I love the idea of like a new intern starting and not knowing they're married and being and just being like, wow, he's being really weird about her. Oh. Oh, never
He's like,
mind.
should I tell HR about this?
I'm worried. Is Dr. King okay? And everyone's just like, this is just part of it. I'm sorry. Like, we're banishing them to triage as we speak,
She's
actually.
right where she wants to be. Don't
Like,
worry.
oh my god, yes, because there's a certain contention in the fandom that's like she's too good for him, and it's like, well, actually, I fear that he's the only person who's ever really cared about her. So maybe just let her have what she wants. So
She's right where she wants to be.
she's right where she wants to
So,
be. I had a thing to say, but I'll say it after the asks. Okay, musings and music. Shout out to you, girl. Sent a wonderful ask. A lovely mutual of mine. For the pod, I'm just discovering it and I'll listen to episodes when I can. Can't wait. Yay! I'm so excited. I need to like do a little button at the end because there's been some growth and I want to talk about it. Okay. I headcanon that Mel spends a long time thinking about how if she wants a kid or not, or several. She's never got the choice in becoming Becca's carer, and Frank's kids were the bonus who came with being in a relationship with him. She loves them very much, but this time she wants to plan. So that baby is planned and desired, and Mel and Frank decide on the perfect moment to conceive. When she's pregnant, she can't hide it. She's either glowing with happiness or her head's in the toilet. I feel like she has the worst morning sickness and she's like suffering. And like
totally.
it is Sprite and saltines. I feel like that is how they like find out is Frank's like, I need a Zofran prescription, please. Like it's bad. Yes. Okay. She gets tired easily, and Franks becomes strict about her sleep. She also feeds her with anything she can eat and keep down. They keep the baby's gender a secret, but for the sake of girl dad Frank, I headcanon that they have a daughter. She's got her dad's hair in her mom's eyes, and she's a sweetheart during her first year. Then Penny and Tanner understand they can involve her in their shenanigans. They're 7 and 9 by then, and she becomes a terror, but an adorable one. In the pit, Emma is her favorite, and she loves Whitaker, who has nieces and nephews, but only one of them knows how to truly care for young kids besides the medical stuff. That's real. I love that. I love the idea of Tanner and Penny like coming like every other week their daughter is like so well behaved and so cute, and then their siblings come over and it's just chaos. It's just havoc. Um I also in my Evie series very much write that like Tanner's kind of like he's his father's son. He's kind of an asshole. He's like a little, jokey and overconfident and
Hmm.
thinks he's a little bit too cool for everybody, but he has like a really soft spot for his baby sister. And like
Oh.
she's like, I would like to play My Little Pony, and he's like, all right. He's like, he wants to go skateboarding with his cool new friends, but he'll play MLP with his little sisters for a little
He,
bit.
he's
I
like, as
mean,
long as I can be Rainbow
as,
Dash.
I mean, listen, I have opinions on which pony I am. I feel like I love the idea of like him. I love the idea of like teenage Tanner and like Frank like watching Evie's show with her on the couch, or like they're like and like being like, well, I do actually have a lot of opinions about the Sparkle Princesses. Like I need to know what happens. Like very Manny and Joe from Modern Family, where he's like, your cartoon makes no sense. And he's like poking holes in it, and he's just like, dude, it's a cartoon. You gotta let it go. Um, yeah.
I like at the beginning of the ask there about her planning it.
Yes.
So I feel like there's really the two routes to go is either it's an accident and they're both horrified, or like Mel is testing on ovulation strips every day and
Yeah.
she's like, chop chop, it's time to go. We have 12 hours.
No, literally, like she is either like so, and I feel like Frank would be so into both options. Like I
Yeah.
feel like her planning it, I
She's like,
like
my
Mel,
basal temperature this morning is right
sir,
about time
she
for
buys an Aura
you.
ring.
Yeah,
She's using the Natural
exactly.
Cycles app. I feel like literally, and he is just like sitting there like, let's go, I'm ready. I because I mean I also really love the idea of like Mel starts to open a spreadsheet on her computer, and he's just like already beside her like I'm ready, let's do this. Like he loves it. He loves how much she plans and
He
organize
loves.
things.
He's like, can you put sharing on and send that to me? I need to look at
It's for
that later.
science, Queen. Like I just gotta take a little look. Yes, literally. I'm obsessed with that. I At least in my own little universe, which I was not expecting to talk about as much as I am. The first one not planned. Second one, or like they like were planning on it, but it happens like too early. Like they just got
Hmm.
married, and she's like, "Ah, you're gonna wait a year. We were gonna wait for this. Like I wanted to like be in my fellowship. Like we had all this planned, and it just doesn't work out that way." And she and then the second one is like very, very, very planned. And like again, basal body temperature. She's buying like all like there's apps on both of their phones. Like she's got alerts set. Like everything is there. I'm also obsessed with the idea of her leaving her phone at like the charge desk and it starts buzzing. And like poor fucking Whitaker picks it up to be like, oh, I like he thinks it's his, and it just says like your fertile window, and he's like, oh god, just like turning bright red and putting it
And
down,
it's.
and
I feel like it's always Whitaker too.
yeah, it's like
It's
he's like
always going
ah.
to be anytime it's something you don't like, it's like sensitive information or something you're not really, keep maybe keeping it on the down low. Like it's Whitaker who's going to be
It's
putting it
Whitaker.
in.
Yeah.
It's
He's
always
just
going to
like
be
he's
Whitaker.
like, I don't want to know that you're fertile. And then like Mel and Langdon like disappear for 20 minutes, and he's just like, I hate it here. He's just like, I don't want to know this. And he tells Santos, and Santos just like having the like a fucking field day, and he's like, I want to die. Like my gay ass can't handle this. He's like, I'm actually good. Yeah, I'm obsessed with that. I also feel like my autistic ass is so that person where I'm either like things just either happen and I'm like, fuck it, you gotta adjust, or it's like everything is planned to a T. I have a 5 year plan. I'm sticking to it. Let's do this. Um, I also love the idea of Mel just being like so stressed about stuff like milestones, and Frank being like, it'll be fine. It's
Hmm.
it's fine. Even like as a doctor and like knowing that like I feel like a lot of I mean, obviously not a parent, and you are, but like I feel like hopefully the good doctors, I know I didn't hit my milestones on time as a baby, and the doctor was like, "It's fine. She's fine. She's fine.
Yeah,
It's gonna be fine."
you just watch them.
Yeah. just like be aware. Like they were worried I wasn't gonna walk like on time, and then she was like, I
Hmm.
think she's walking just in secret, and I was. Um,
You were walking in secret.
I was walking in secret. I walked in secret. I walked at daycare, but I didn't walk at home.
Oh my goodness.
And my parents were like, huh, all right. Or like, I also love the idea of him being like, Tanner talked really early, but his physical milestones were slower, and Penny was like running at like running full speed really early, and but her talking took a while. Like it's and him just being like, it's gonna be fine. Again, we talked about this earlier. All right. This next ask is from an Anon for the pod. This may be an unpopular opinion, but it's not because I've read these asks. You're Anon. You are in the clear. But I really don't see Mel wanting children anytime soon. I really want to see her get to live her life for herself first, for literally the first time in her adult life, exactly, rather than have yet another person dependent on her, whose needs have come before her own. So maybe 5 years down the line, but yes, we know she loves kids, and I'm sure she would love getting to know Tanner and Penny. I also think she would be a great mom. I want her to find out who she is first, because even people who have had that chance earlier in life struggle with losing themselves and their identity when they become parents. Sorry, this is too serious. I know people love Melpreg content. I don't want to yuck anyone's yum. Love the pod. Thank you. Thank you, Anon. You're not yucking anyone's yum. I actually really love this opinion and appreciate you bringing it up because yes, in fact, like even when I'm reading fic where it happens really soon or like a secret affair baby, I'm like kind of have to divorce myself from it
Hmm.
because yeah, she hasn't had any time to get to know herself, and I feel like I don't know, I want them to like take their time in their relationship. I want them to like get married and like I want them to like travel and like do shit together and
At the
her
very least, like finish their residency would be
yeah, like
ideal.
yes, like I want her to like have like at least a solid year where like she's settled with her man and like she gets the taste of the kids when they come over, but like she's like they have time to each other and to just really enjoy each other before things get crazy again. Um and yeah,
Yeah.
I heavy
And
agree with this. And
in like
I'll
a
yes.
in like a perfect best universe, that's what would happen.
Yes,
And they would
exactly.
plan it and everything would be just fine. But also it's fun if they have a secret affair baby.
Listen, this was my literally the whole fucking thesis of the infidelity episode was, yeah,
Isn't it
no,
so fun?
but also like it's really fun to write about. Like it's fun to imagine. Like I am anti-infidelity in real life, but I do
Of
love to post on
course.
Tumblr hashtag it's hotter if they cheat, no tags. Like it's hotter if they cheat, if you know, you know.
Absolutely.
Listen, it is. I also think that this is my place to bring this up. As an autistic woman, I think a lot about the fact. I wonder if Mel, I don't wonder, I know she would factor this in. They would, I won't write it because it's not a very fun conversation to write, but she'd kind of have to sit Frank down and be like, there's a non-zero chance that our child will have high support needs autism. Are you prepared for that? Um,
True.
because like that's a real conversation. People aren't, which I feel like people aren't having. I mean, at least like the generation that conceived me weren't having because it's a lot. And I also think that like I've definitely had feelings about it of like if I ever were to have children, like, they could have higher support needs or they could just be autistic like I am, and that's a whole thing. It's not
Hmm.
very fun. Well, being autistic is fun as fuck. Recommend. It's dope, actually. My brain works in a very fun and specific, weird way that makes life really cool. It's just other people don't agree with that, and the world is not set up for us. So yeah, but I also think that like I kind of love the idea of them having a child who has similar autism to like Mel, and that child getting to actually have the support they need in life and cared for. And it really like makes my heart sing to imagine a kid not having to deal with that like really, really painful experience of growing up autistic and not knowing you're autistic that Mel
Yeah.
went through. Um,
I think
and just
regardless, they're very good parents, and it would be,
yes.
I feel like it would be also pretty healing for Mel to have a baby and give it all the love in the world that she
Yeah, and
maybe
knowing that
didn't
she's not
feel.
going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and not having, Mel is such a glass child, and her, getting to have that and love this baby and care for them. And I also imagine that she would love getting to watch Tanner and Pet, like get love this baby get
Absolutely. She
watched, loved by
loves them.
siblings.
Yeah.
Oh, she loves them. She loves them down. Like in every world, she loves them. There's not a single
Mm-hmm.
universe where she doesn't love his kids, and his kids don't love her back. I love that like no matter what your opinion is on or like what you like about Kingdon, like there are plenty of things that people write about that like just isn't my cup of tea. Support it and enjoy it, just not like what I'm super into when I'm reading fic. But I love that no matter everyone just universally agrees like Frank's marriage is bad oh my God, and Mel loves Tanner and Penny. Also, Becca and Frank are best friends. That's his girl.
Yeah, they absolutely are.
I mean, well,
I would
in
literally
canon.
watch like a show of just them going to IKEA
Oh,
together.
literally. Oh my God, why are there so many Kingdom fanfics where they go to IKEA? I feel like
I
I've read like four.
they 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 just seem like they'd be there.
I don't even have anything really to say because, like, yeah, they just. It's like how I'm like, yeah, of course they watch Survivor and eat Thai food every Friday. Like, duh.
Yeah.
I don't know
Ugh,
if I could
I
drink.
want Thai food.
I want Thai food too. I'm tired. Okay. Final ask is from Purple Butterfly Glasses, friend of the fucking show. Allison and Paige, friends of the show, basically co-hosts of the show at this point.
Love you guys.
We love you guys so much. Shout out. Wish you were here, babes. Okay. For the pod. I love when people say for the pod. Paige, I bet
For
you
the
remember me
pod.
saying this last week, but I love when people say it like that because the I love the pit, it's such like an Instagram fandom joke at this point, and I don't even care. I love it so much.
I'm
It's
in
very
the
important to
pit.
me. I'm in the pit. I'm finna be in
I'm
the
in the
pit.
pit.
Melpreg is everything to me, honestly. Same girl, same. It makes the
Hmm.
most sense to me, to at least to me, that Mel would want to have a baby of her own. She canonically loves babies, as you've said previously. I think she would be over the moon to have Frank's baby, and he would be like, and he would be have to be convinced only because he would be worried that it might be too much on their plates. But once Mel makes up her mind, she can't be convinced otherwise. I can see them having one pregnancy but having twins in my mind, both girls. Frank Langdon girl dad and Tanner wanting to be a protector of his little sisters. I weep. Yeah, exactly. But I also can imagine him being like, I kind of wanted a brother, guys. Like, can I have a brother next time? And then being like, baby, we don't know if there's a next time. Like, let's calm down, actually. Um, yeah, girl
There's
dad
two
Frank Langdon.
babies right
There
in
are two
front of
babies,
you.
yes. Um, I can just so easily picture Mel coming home. Like they don't have the same day off, so Frank's home with like the little kids, and I can just so easily picture her coming home and being like, "You're and he's just like has like barrettes in his hair and his like makeup all over his face, and is just sitting there being like,
Yeah.
"Well, I'm a pretty princess, Melissa. Like, what are we talking about?" And
I
she's
love
just
thinking about him just like laying supine on the couch, prone, while
yes.
the kids just like run around
Yeah,
and
his
jump
he's
on
got like a
him.
heating pad on, and he's like, there's like a Revolutionary War documentary on. He's like, I love the idea like of like especially like when they have like their second baby, so they have in like in my universe, but they're a little newborn, and they have a toddler, and then they have like a middle schooler and like a feral elementary schooler, and I imagine Tanner and Penny are best friends their whole lives. I feel like I just refuse to believe that they ever like beef. I feel like they fight, but they fight the way that like all siblings do, where they like fight
Hmm.
and then they still want to hang out. It's
Yeah,
um like a lot of the sibling pairs I've hung out with will like beef, but instead of like taking a break from each other, they'll just be like, "Well, I want to sit next to you while I'm mad at you." Because like, why
absolutely.
not? That was so my sister and I as kids too. Is like we didn't really want privacy, we just want to be around each other all the time. And I love the idea of like them even as teenagers like teasing each other, but still like that's literally his bestie. Um, so they have like a lot of mischief, and Frank is just like feeding the baby on the couch like, I'm not like, not my circus, not my monkeys, even though they all share my genetic code. Like, I can't do this right now.
It's
Or
literally so many little Franks running around.
oh my God, I like he cloned himself 4 times, and he's like, what the fuck was I thinking? I've
He's
made
like, this is the worst.
I've made a terrible decision. Like, he's like, my karma in life is that I have children who match my energy. Like, god damn it. And he's like so grateful when all the Mel genes come out of like their kids, and they're just like chilling and like doing a puzzle, and he's like, oh my God, thank fucking God. It's like
A
he's like the
moment of respite.
a moment of respite. Like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I feel like they do a lot of ER doctoring on like skin knees, and like
Hmm.
their house is just like such a zoo, and they don't care and are so happy. I also like love the idea of like I love the idea of like them like rocking up to like the pit crew potluck that like Abbott has every summer or whatever, and like
Yeah,
they're the only couple who has young kids anymore. Like Perla's kids are older, and Dana obviously has like grown adult kids, and so they like show up, and it's just like the Langdons are here. It's just like a hurricane of child just like
so
coming out of the
many
car. Just so many, just like many
piling
Mel's
out
and
of
Franks.
the minivan.
Literally, oh my God. I Frank Langdon drives a dad car. I feel like he drives like a shitty SUV and or a minivan. I feel like Abby has the minivan. I feel like they have two cars and he has the shitty
Yeah.
SUV. And it's just
Hmm.
like the first time they carpool, he's like moving like crumbs off the seats. He's like, I'm so
Hmm.
sorry. I'm so like it's like she's like, can we pick up Becca? And he's like, yeah, I just gotta like move the booster seats. Hang on, like fixing it all. Like he
Hucks them into the back.
that is, I have never been around like I've never watched a parent move a car seat where they didn't like, especially like a booster seat where they didn't like huck it. They just weren't like, I don't fucking care about this. Like
Just dump it.
just dump it. Like the amount, I have never seen someone, I feel like Frank, this would be so, I also feel like Frank is the type of dad who would like hold the kid by like the ankle and like bounce him around and make him laugh. And Mel is
Totally.
like, Mel freaks out the first time and then she's like, it's gonna be okay. We're good. There's that great Mel's Glasses comic where it's um like Frank with baby Jane Doe, and like I think at the end he's like spinning her like a basketball on his finger.
I feel like I remember seeing that. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Okay, do we have any final thoughts before we come to the end? We did all
Um,
our asks. This has been delightful. Also, anything you want to
yeah.
plug other than like obviously your Tumblr and your incredible art, which I'm obsessed with?
Aw, thank you. Me and my wife were talking the other day about Mel's Frank baby, and
Yes.
she says that like I think it would be really funny if she like is dead set on the name Franklin. And he's
And
like,
he's like, I
"No."
don't name him Junior. I don't want to do this.
He's like, "I don't even like my name. Why would you do that?" And she's like, "I think it's cute."
Oh my God, I love that idea. I'm obsessed with that. That's amazing. Oh my God, yes. I feel like I love the idea of like Tanner and Penny having, in like my universe, their babies are like Evelyn and like something else like very like old-timey and historical. Like I feel like, not old-timey, but like grandma-y. I feel like they have
Totally.
kids where they're just like,
I feel
but
like
I
because
love the idea
they're
of her
both
being like,
history nerds.
they're both history nerds. Yes.
They're like looking on like Amish gravestones, you
No,
know?
literally. They're like, well, she's named after this random Revolutionary War woman who looks like a hero, and
Exactly.
they're just like, guys, what? And then they have like their like normal kid. Oh my God, I'm obsessed with that. Uh, that's amazing. Yeah, I really want to name him after you. And he's like, I don't, because also famously, Patrick Ball hates that he's named Frank. And like,
Yeah.
even in that interview recently, he's like, don't tell anyone. And I was like, I commented like, baby, you're Frank on AO3. Like, you've lost it. I'm sorry. Like, you're Frank. Um, yeah, that's amazing.
Frank,
Okay.
baby Franklin. He's like, we can't have another Frank, okay?
We can't another
We
Frank. And
don't
she's
need
like,
more
well,
Franks in the world. And she's like, and then she like sheds one tear, and he's like, okay, the baby's
the
Franklin.
baby's
Done.
Frank, yeah. Or like she has like a really, or she's like in labor for 18 hours and he's like, you can name the baby whatever the fuck you want to name
Okay,
the baby. Like
yeah.
I have lost this battle.
He's like,
I
okay,
also,
little baby Franklin,
Leia
whatever.
baby, she's like, we'll call him Frankie. And he's like, sure, whatever. Um, he's like, can I pick the middle name? And like the baby goes by, their son goes by their middle name. And she's like, well, he's like, I let you have it. Okay. Like his legal name is Franklin, but we're not calling him that. Like, oh my God, very modern family where it's like, we can name him whatever you want, but we're calling him this. And oh
Hmm.
my God. Or like I love people who are like, well, my legal name is this, but like I don't go by that. Um I feel like Hank Green has some crazy name that's not his legal name and he goes by Hank and everyone's like, "Wait, your name's like James?" And he's like, "Yeah." Um
I
no,
love
that
it
would
when
be,
those kind of things happen.
yeah, that would so be that would so be their kid. Oh my God, that's amazing. And like they announce it to the Holy D and he just is like, "We're not calling him Franklin." Like I lost a battle, we're not calling him Franklin. They're just like, "Really? Another baby Frank?"
And then
And
she like exclusively calls the baby Franklin.
yes. And like he goes like like well into adulthood. He's like, no, my he's like he like introduces he's like bringing home like his partner at some point. He's like, my mom is gonna call me Franklin. I do not go by Frank. Like he's like we like it was a battle that was lost. I also really love the idea of like her being in labor and she's like things are super like she's like like they're locked in on each other, things are great. And then like towards the end, she's like, Frank, I love you so much. I am like you are never allowed to touch me again. And he's like, understandable. Like I get it. Like thank you. And she's like later, she's like, I'm sorry, but he's just like, no, I get it. Like, she's like, I kind of hate you. And he's like, that's fair. Understandable. He's like, I hate myself right now. Just imagine him being like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. My gluttony has caused you to suffer. It's just like, oh my God. It's very like them, every cheating fic ever, where he's like, yep, yep, yeah. Where he's just like, I'm a bad, bad man,
A
but I love you so
bad,
much.
bad man.
Okay. All right. I'm going to tell everyone anything else.
Um, I think that's about it.
All right, I'm gonna tell everyone to go follow you at on Tumblr at Drmelbrows. Do you have anywhere else people should be following you? Should we hit you up?
Um, I mean, my main blog is Macaulay on Tumblr with the L is a one, but other than that, that's about it.
All right. Hell yes. If you're in the Discord server,
I
sometimes we get
am.
art exclusively. It's pretty dope. I'm gonna plug the Discord server. The Discord server's dope.
Yes.
Come yap with us if you want to yap. You want to yap with all your favorite Kingdom bloggers, who are, if you guessed it, better than you, almost better. I was gonna say in person, but it's just on Discord. Like they're,
It's
it's even
kind of
more.
in person.
It's kind of in person. Sometimes I don't know. Sometimes we'll be like, I'm having a bad day, and everyone will be like, "You want some smutty fanfic?" And I'm like, "I do want some smutty fanfic." If you want to know what all your favorite bloggers are like, the answer is the best. So I recommend joining. I will plug my Evie series, which I haven't done in a hot minute, but
Yes.
I am debutante girl over on AO3. Also, my bear fanfic is there. I someone in the Discord was like, "I read your bear fanfic," and I was like, "Really?" Before we knew each other, and it was pretty cool. So, if you too are filled with dread over season 5, come join me. And I'm hypothetically going to be posting more fanfic soon. Hypothetically. I'm also going to plug the pod, obviously. Please feel free to subscribe. Some people have been leaving 5-star reviews on Spotify, a thing that I never asked you to do, but really appreciate when you do because it like allows people to find it. So thank you so much. Refer your friends. No, I'm kidding. I sound like an MLM. But thank you to everyone who keeps listening. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for all the kind messages and comments and sending in asks and just being so engaged with it, especially as we are entering month 2 of No Pit.
Oh,
You don't talk to me.
don't remind me.
I'm in mourning. Listen, every month that passes is 1 month closer to season 3. We're
You know
going.
what? I every day I'll just start season one over again.
That's how it is. Listen, the if I rewatch, is it even really over?
Right?
Um, yeah, and I feel like with like the Discord and the group, which is still so active, everyone who posts in Kingdom Nation still, I hope you know that I am your personal biggest fan. I'm holding up a sign that says I love you in a very chill and non-parasocial way. But yes, thank you to everyone thank you for everyone who subscribed. We hit 100 listens, I believe. We did. We're really close to 200, and I keep pinching myself. This was just a stupid idea I had. And now it's here, which is kind of crazy. So thank you everybody who's listened. Thank you so much, Miss Melpreg, for coming
Yes,
on the
thank you
pod.
for having me. This
Yeah, of
was so
course. You're
fun.
welcome back anytime. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.